Alright, no time for another rant. I thought I'd have time to do one, put one together, um, but I'm definitely going to have to do that video in a couple of days' time. But we do have time to continue our epic journey into the labyrinths of fear. I don't know what the face is about. So, last time we got to 51 here. We managed to get past the Knights Templar, Tobias, and we entered a dank room, small dank room, where there was a vine growing in the middle of it, and there were grapes on that vine. And we had the option of eating the grapes or not eating them, and the grapes had a silvery bloom to them. Now, I personally said that I wouldn't eat them, and you all voted. Sorry, I'm on the farty chair again. It's really distracting. You all voted to eat. You voted 3 times, or 3 of you voted for eat, and 6 of you voted for don't eat. Hey there's 37ish, Adawu and XX Shay, you all voted for eating the grapes, so, and you all made some very funny arguments for doing such a thing, but you've been outvoted. So, alright, here we go, we're not eating the grapes, so let's go on then. It says turn to page 84. Not page 84, but paragraph 84. Well done, my friends. You have a nasty suspicion that the silvery tinge means that the grapes are poisonous. As you turn away, though, an idea comes to you and you pick a bunch of the fruit after all. You know better than to eat them, but they might still come in handy. Now, there you go. That's for Patty, because she said that she wanted to pick them up, and the book has let us pick them up. Okay, yeah, so we've got some poisoned grapes. Write that down in my inventory. And okay, so Mike's on his way now. And you pick a bunch of this. That was rather flamboyant. You know better than to eat them. I've already read that. Then, adding the grapes to your list of possessions, you make your way through the exit and along a corridor into a large circular hall. Turn to page 160. In the centre of the floor of this hall, there is a hole over which a windlass stands, or windlass. I think that's like a rope and bucket, like for a well. It is a wellway which you could use to travel to the level below. Opposite where you entered, the word maze is carved into the keystone above a wide archway. I'm going to make the decision for this one to get us to something more interesting. Go down the maze, not go down the maze. I'm going to say we don't go down the maze because I've got a funny feeling it might be like the old Minotaur legend, you know, we need some string or something like that. So I'm going to say we go down into the next level of the dungeon, down the well. Hopefully there's nothing there. Okay, so if you want to, 127. Talking to myself now. That bodes well. You peer into the wellway. It is unlit and goes down so far that you cannot see the bottom. A rope is wound around the barrel of the windlass, so you start to winch it up, and soon an oak bucket is raised into view. You secure the mechanism and then examine the contents of the bucket. It is filled with a jumble of mouldering bones, along with scraps of rusty armour. If you possess a bone, turn to 129. If you do not, turn to 140. We've not got any bones. Where would we have got bones? Okay. You scatter the bones out of the bucket. That's all the ribs and all that were in it. By untying the rope from the winch and passing it over the barrow of the windlass, you are able to contrive an arrangement that allows you to lower yourself gradually down the wellway. As you step out at the bottom, a bone crunches under your feet. It is a Redbone, and if you don't already have one, then it might be worth taking. Alright, I say we take the rib. So we've got a rib as well now. Turn to 17. Don't worry, I'm sure there's something for you guys to vote on or figure out shortly. Turn to 17. I'm sorry, I constantly clear my throat, get a bit of a cold. Well, you've made it as far as level 2. You feel quite pleased with yourself, but then Treguard's voice speaks out of nowhere. Treguard was, there's not a picture of him in this, that's the guy that, like, he's like the sort of dungeon master did. Don't congratulate yourself too soon, adventurer. The trials you have faced so far serve only to weed out the foolish and the faint-hearted. Now it is time for you to receive your quest. Right, wait a minute. So we went all this way. I kept saying, we don't know what the quest is. We don't know what it is. He's going to tell us. I don't know why I'm getting so excited about it. The elf king, Aaron, can't pronounce that. Aaron is at large in the caverns below level 3. And you must find and defeat him before he can use his magic to topple the foundations of Knightmare Castle. I'm starting to sound like Tobias now. I need to come up with different accents. Remember, he is a powerful wizard, and you will now need all your cunning to overcome him. I'm starting to sound like James Mason. James Mason! Treguard's voice fades. You leave the chamber by the only exit. Turn to 29. Alright, so we know our quest now. There's some sort of elf king. Somehow, for some reason, he wants to topple Knightmare Castle, which must be the entrance to the dungeon. Well, the dungeon's down there. Well, we'll see what happens. Okay, so you arrive at a room that is cluttered with all manner of jars, test tubes, retorts, candles, boxes of magical powders, scroll cages, and various herbs and dried animal skins for use as spell ingredients. It is Merlin's Alchemical Laboratory. The old wizard himself is standing by a bench in front of the fire and muttering under his breath as he peers at some mechanism he's assembled. Alright, so we're in this sort of laboratory, and we've got Merlin from the Arthurian legends there working on some stuff. Probably try to turn lead to gold. Alright, so the options, here are your options. If you want to creep past him without announcing your presence, you can leave by either of two doors, one on the far side of the room or one to your right. If you want to speak to Merlin, turn to page 64. If you try to filch some of his spell ingredients, that means steal. Alright, so your options are, this is sort of written in a little bit of a muddled way. We can sneak past them, but if you choose to sneak past them, you have to just say go left or go right. Okay, so you can choose to go left or right, or you can choose to speak to Merlin, or you can choose to steal some spell ingredients. It's tricky again. So I don't know what I would do. I'd probably speak to him. Merlin's like a cool guy, is he not? Pretty sure he is. Pretty sure Merlin's a, well, maybe he's not now. Maybe it's a different Merlin. Okay, so yeah, I would speak to him personally, but what do you guys think? You can go left or right by sneaking past him so he doesn't realise you're there, or you can speak to him, or you can steal some of his ingredients. Let me know. See this chair? I'm going to listen to that. It's ridiculous. It's as if the whoopee cushion makers decided to make a chair that makes the noise of a whoopee cushion. It's ridiculous. I need to get that fixed. Alright, so sneak past them left or right, steal some shit off of them, or speak to Merlin. Let me know down below and we'll continue this in a couple of days. The Labyrinth of Fear.